Welcome back to Witness Richness. It's your boy JCP, and as always, I am super excited to be back in front of the camera. Listen, today I believe that there's a long overdue of an update of just where I'm at in my journey. Remember, originally this was Witness Richness, my journey to becoming a multi-millionaire, which is still a goal, but at the same time, it's not. I went through a lot of experiences in business, had my ups and had my downs, and I kind of repositioned my focus and the way I'm going to be obtaining my goals. So today, we'll talk about that. Let me take you all to the intro, and I'll see you back in a minute. The whole journey and the whole story is going to come out more and more over time, because I have a lot of old footage and material that I haven't put out that I actually used just for my own personal growth. And today, this style that I'm speaking to in the camera is how I used to speak to the camera, just to watch myself, just to improve my speech, and just to improve my face expressions, and work on my hand positioning, and kind of the behind the scene things that I work on to improve my presentation and my communication skills, right? Throughout my real estate endeavors, there were times where, I was closing deals worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And, there was times when, I was making sure I have enough cash flow coming in to pay my bills for the next month, right? So I've kind of been through, some bad times financially, and been through some, great times financially through my journey. And what I've learned is, you want to stabilize your cash flow in more than just real estate, right? You want to stabilize your cash flow in a small business. You want to stabilize your cash flow from stocks or some bonds. You want to stabilize your cash flow from, a side hustle. You want to stabilize your cash flow from some real estate. You want to have several different streams of stabilized cash flow, right? And then you can kind of work on each one at any given time, and make sure you keep them all above flow, make sure you keep them all pursuing and pushing forward. And then when there is a recession or times are hard financially for our economy, you can kind of pick one of those small businesses, one of those cash flows you have coming in, and focus on growing that one, right? Because sometimes it may be just that one business that takes you from the millionaire status to the 100 millionaire status, right? So right now, I'm on my first business, and it's a small business. I've gotten into real estate. I stabilized my cash flow. I'm afloat right now. I'm not where I want to be. I still have financial goals that I'm looking to achieve. Just the way that I'm going about my financial goals now is just different. There was a point where it was all about chasing the money, getting the dollar, getting the next check, and now it's more about growing myself and developing myself into the type of person that the universe will reward my every desire, right? So my intention has changed. Coming into the end of 2018, I had hired a property management company to manage all of my properties. Over the first few months, things were going well. And then after about 2 or 3 months, I started losing money. Half my rent roll, right? If you have a rent roll of 20,000, I was getting 10, right? I was losing half my rent roll for about 4 months consecutively. And at that point in time, I had like evictions, and I had, just stuff with the city that I had to get squared away. I had a lot of stuff compiling on top of the fact that my cash flow was not coming in, right? It wasn't where it needed to be. And I had given, a property manager complete access to all of my funds, so I wasn't able to, use my funds and be creative to pay this and pay that. It was a difficult 4 months. Mind you, I will say that I did not miss any payments, and I was not late on any payments. And it was like 4 months of just like negative income. So I just found a way. I was selling cars, right? I was just doing whatever I could do to make sure I can, get those bills paid and keep my credit on track. Still made everything happen, still paid all the bills. I had to borrow money from Peter to pay Paul at times, just going through it. But I really feel like, wow, I'm glad I didn't just go from making $100,000 a year at my job and then start doubling and tripling and quadrupling my salary and never have no setback and not understand what it takes to come back from nothing, right? Let me see. When I say start from nothing, right? My real estate portfolio, about $13,000 a month in expenses, okay? Then you collect about $20,000 a month in rents. If you're not getting enough money to cover your expenses, not only are you not making any money for yourself and to eat, but you don't even have enough money to cover the expenses on your business for 1, 2, 3, 4 months. Oh man, just knowing that I had to go through that, and I did it, and I made it, and I made it through, and I bounced back. I'm telling you, that type of shit makes you stronger. And it was a difficult 4 months, and maybe that's where I kind of like had to really dig deep down and find myself again. Like, wow, that just happened to me. How can I protect this from happening again as I continue in my endeavors, right? That was definitely an experience. So coming into 2019, all my goals that I had set out for, kind of like, I had allowed myself to shatter my own goals by taking that financial hit coming into 2019. So 2019 for me, honestly, was more of just a rebound year to get myself in a better position financially. And I've done that, but not only did I get myself in a better position financially, I've gotten myself in a way better position spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. And then I just feel like lastly now it comes to finances. Now finances is just a game of up and down and, this business or that business and the next investment, taking your wins, taking your losses, and, just keep going, keep the money moving. I just feel like money is now a real small area of life. And for me, at one point, money was, the main energy source being taken from my life. It was like I spent all my time and energy on money. And at some point, I just feel like in life, as you start to grow and start to become more aware and expand yourself, that you have to realize that materials don't really matter. They're nice, they're shiny, they do this, they do that, whatever it may be, but at heart, it doesn't really matter. So update. So 22 rental units, the cash flow is coming in. The flip that I started, I actually have some footage. Maybe at the end of this video, I'll throw in some footage of the flip, but I haven't really spent a lot of time and energy on it. I'm kind of tied up with the city on a few permits. So I'll go into that a little bit more in another video, but the project is about 90% done. So I have the flip under contract. We're still working on that. The rental units is down to 22. I'm just managing right now. I'm not even actively in the real estate market right now besides my flip and the rental properties that I do own. I just purchased a small business, and right now a lot of my time and energy is going into just the ideas and cultivating those ideas for that small business. And once I get that established, then it's about what's next, and what's next, and what's next. And real estate, flips, and rental properties is always on my radar, because that's where my consciousness is at now. I always have the people in place to filter me those deals, and I have financing in place to make sure if a deal comes through, I can reach out to certain people for financing. So that is already on my radar now. Now I'm kind of taking my attention and focusing on some small businesses and growing my YouTube channel. That's like another thing that I'm putting some time and energy into now, is really growing this channel, expanding myself, articulating myself better, taking communication classes and speaking classes, because listen, I mean this when I say let's grow together. So I'm gonna do whatever I can do in the background to make sure that when I give this content, that when I deliver this content, that it's from here and it's from here, you know what I'm saying? And that it makes sense to you, all right? So as always, my brother, and as always, my sister, I invite you, let's grow together.